What's going on, everyone? Tech Me Out here, and LG recently released their new flagship device known as the LG G5. And I must say, it definitely hit the mark for at least one area: innovation. And if you're wondering what's so innovative about the LG G5 and what you can expect from this device, then you definitely want to stick around for this video because I'm going to be sharing with you all you need to know about the new LG G5. So for starters, the design of this thing looks a lot more appealing than its predecessor, the LG G4. It basically has an all-aluminum body which adds an instant premium feel to the touch. Now the body of the G5 is made from a rounded design that personally reminds me of what I would envision as a love child between some form of an iPhone and the Nexus, but I gotta say I like it. Now the power button of the LG G5 can be found on the back of the device, along with an integrated fingerprint reader, much like the design of a Nexus 6P, whereas the volume rocker has been removed from the back and has now been placed along the side of the device to maintain the sleekness that LG has strived to obtain with this device. As for the weight of this, it's going to come in at 159 grams, which for comparison's sake makes it just a tad bit heavier than the LG G4. Now with the 5.3 Quad HD IPS display, it is a bit easier to manage for one-handed users. So for comparison's sake again, the LG G4 is 5.5 inches, making it slightly bigger than the LG G5. Now it definitely looks like it'll be a pleasure to hold, but only a real-world test can determine that. Which, might I add, is on my list of things to do, as I do plan on obtaining one of these devices for review. So if you're interested in seeing that, make sure you hit that like button. When it comes to powering the G5, it's sporting a Snapdragon 820 processor with 4 gigs of RAM, which basically means this device should run wonderfully smooth. Now the battery is 2800 milliamps and it supports quick charging but not wireless charging, which honestly is like meh. But I gotta say, I do like the fact that you can charge the device up to 80% within only 35 minutes. And for onboard storage, it's going to consist of 32 gigabytes with a micro SD slot for expansion. Not only was I impressed with the design of this thing, but I was also pleasantly surprised to discover the features of it. So you have a couple of things to enjoy, such as the always on option, which is pretty neat as it allows you to see your clock and notifications at all times. Meaning when your device is asleep, these items are always going to be visible on your lock screen. Which I guess you can then kind of consider it to be much like a screensaver. And personally, I love the sound of this because the main reason that I randomly pick up my device and unlock it is to check these two things: notifications and the time. So to have these options automatically and always visible on my device sounds like something I would personally enjoy. Plus, there's no need to worry about battery drain as it only consumes 0.8% of your battery. And you have the option to turn it on or off, so if you don't like it, you can just flip it off. Now, LG also hit consumers with another bold move, which was the shocking removal of the app drawer and dual window. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, what you doing, what you doing, what you doing, what you doing? But honestly, I think it's an adaptable change. And I think it's even more adaptable for those that like to jump between Androids and iPhones. And plus, I'm sure a developer out there somewhere has already made or is in the process of making something to appeal to those that do want an app drawer so that they can have that option. But the one standalone feature that wowed many of us is something I've never seen offered by any other cellular company, and that is the option for modulars. Now, modular phones of some form have been requested by some consumers in the past, but a company hasn't replied to these requests quite like LG has. The mind-blowing concept centers around the press of a side button that releases the bottom of the device to reveal the battery and an expansion slot that's ready to be filled with modulars and accessories that LG has coined as friends. Now, 2 modules that were mentioned that you can invest your money in are the Cam Plus and the Hi-Fi Plus. The Cam Plus will provide you with an extra 1200 milliamps of power, along with the manual controls for the shutter and zoom, and a better grip to make it feel more like holding an actual camera. Sounds like a nice pickup for the camera lovers out there, but for my audio heads, you can invest in the Hi-Fi Plus module from B&O that includes a 32-bit DAC and a dedicated 3.5mm headphone port. And while we're talking a bit about cameras, the one that you'll find in the LG G5 is a dual setup. So you're going to have the option of a 16 megapixel normal angle or a 8 megapixel wide angle. So with this setup, you can basically switch instantly from a normal view to a wide angle view. So no more losing people in group photos or trying to figure out some crazy way to take a group photo. So basically what we have is a removable battery, a micro SD card slot, quick charge, modulars, a fingerprint reader, aluminum body, and an impressive camera. Well, at least on paper. But nonetheless, these features are good enough alone for me to give LG my money. But a real world test will conclude if it's worth them keeping my money and me not returning it. So if you're interested in picking one of these up, you can save your money up for March 18th. Which is the pre-order date. Official pricing hasn't been provided yet, but I would kind of guess it's going to be around the price range as most flagship devices. But that's going to sum this video up. So in essence, if you can't tell by now, yes, I do want to invest in the LG G5, and when I do, I'm going to be giving you my personal review of it and hands-on real-world use. If there's a specific question you want answered regarding the LG G5, please drop it down below in the comment section along with your thoughts of it, and if you're interested in purchasing that, or do you have your eye on the new Samsung devices. But that's gonna wrap this one up. Be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button so you can stay updated on all my latest videos. My social links are gonna be in the description box, and as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.